Fuck around, make my 40 pop. No popcorn, I pop pistols, reaming my body.
At this point, Sarada getting her Byakugou seal seems like a foregone conclusion. And this right here is going to be a very big thing for Sarada. Sarada getting a Byakugou seal is going to be very critical, and of course her potentially keeping up with Kawaki and Boruto. Not saying that she's probably going to match them in strength or anything like that, but just to not fall so much behind to where in the last battles she is nowhere to be found. Now the reason why I think Sarada getting a Byakugou seal is essentially a foregone conclusion at this particular point is because she's actually been using some very good medical ninjutsu in the recent episodes. Now if you guys don't necessarily recall, this right here was definitely not a strong suit of Sarada. At first she literally killed a fish, set it on fire after she was trying to save it, and then all of a sudden in this particular arc she's actually healing people. Now of course I didn't necessarily want to make this video the first time that she did actually heal somebody, because the first time that she actually tried to heal somebody it was Kagura, and of course as we all know Kagura ended up dead. But most recently she actually operated on an actual Funato clan member, and supposedly he actually got healed from Sarada's medical ninjutsu. Now if you guys aren't necessarily completely caught up on exactly how you get the Byakugou seal, you essentially get the Byakugou seal by storing a lot of chakra in one central point on a person's body, and usually it's going to be the forehead. Mito had it on her forehead, Tsunade had it on her forehead, and of course Sakura had it on her forehead as well, and I'm pretty sure Sarada's probably going to have this on her forehead as well. Now the Byakugou seal is like the pinnacle of chakra control. One of the things that we do know about Sarada is that ever since she was even in the academy school, she always had very good chakra control, which is why I was very confusing upon why she didn't necessarily have the mastery of medical ninjutsu similar to like a Sakura or Tsunade, the people who have the best chakra control in the entire series. But now we see Sarada now has like the next infinity stone to her infinity gauntlet. This right here is just a sign that Sarada is progressing as much as we probably thought that she should have before we actually got that confusing scene about Sarada not necessarily being able to use medical ninjutsu. But now it seems like she's going to be getting it a lot sooner than what we originally thought, because at this particular point Sarada is much far ahead than Sakura was at that particular point. And this right here of course begs the question, who is Sarada actually going to be training with? Because hypothetically, if she trains with Sakura over the time skip, the 3-year time skip, which we all know that characters go to train, there's a very good chance that she'll come out of the time skip with a Byakugou seal, or very, very close to the time skip. We wouldn't necessarily have to wait till the end of the series like how we did with Sakura. I've actually talked a lot about who Sarada should actually train with, but hypothetically, if this right here is going to be the situation, and of course this right here might be the most obtainable power up that she could possibly get, outside of the crazy theory that Sasuke is going to die and now Sarada's going to unlock her Mangekyou Sharingan, I think that this right here is definitely going to be a much more attainable power for Sarada, especially if Sakura is going to be the one who trains her over the time skip. Now of course when it comes to time skip training in Sarada, there could possibly be a bunch of people that could possibly train her or have a hand in her actual training. I've been on record saying that I think it's probably going to be multiple people who actually do train Sarada. We talked about Kakashi, Orochimaru, Sasuke possibly splitting some time between Boruto and Sarada. Not only that, Naruto as well. He is the Hokage, so it might be a little bit difficult, although Tsunade did actually train Sakura while she was Hokage, and of course lastly Sakura as well. The interesting thing about the Byakugou seal right now is that it's not necessarily that much respected in regards to a power-up as, let's say, the Karma Seal or let's say Sage Mode, or it's just a bunch of other stuff. I personally do believe in this particular situation, they're probably gonna have to actually buff the Byakugou seal, essentially make the Byakugou seal a lot stronger to, as I said earlier, keep up with Boruto and Kawaki. Now, as I said, I don't necessarily expect her to be on Karma Seal level or anything like that, but just to not be completely left behind and actually provide some use to Boruto and Kawaki. I personally believe that this right here is going to be an inevitable change. Now, the reason for the buff is going to be very important. Like hypothetically, if you just say there's no reason for the buff, just automatically the Byakugou seal is now significantly stronger, we now have to look at Sakura in a different light and think that, hey, she might be significantly stronger than we thought prior as well. Not only that, but it would raise a lot of questions in regards to Tsunade and Mito about their power levels not necessarily being significantly higher than they were, things such as that. So I personally believe that there has to be a good reason upon why Sarada's Byakugou seal is going to be that strong. So a couple of things, like, let's be honest, no Uchiha member has ever had a Byakugou seal before in the past, so I'm guessing that right there might actually add to the reason upon why her Byakugou seal might be so strong. strong, and playing off of that Uchiha lineage, the Byakugou seal might actually turn her Mangekyou Sharingan into an eternal Mangekyou Sharingan, because her Byakugou seal could potentially prevent her from going blind and also supply her with a lot more chakra than she had prior. And I think that this right here is going to be very huge, mainly because Sarada in the past, she struggled a lot with her chakra control with her Sharingan. So hypothetically, she has the Byakugou seal now that's essentially funneling a bunch of chakra to Sarada. It wouldn't necessarily be as big of a strain on her to actually use the Sharingan and potentially even the Mangekyou Sharingan down the line. One of the overall questions that I did have for you guys is, do you guys like the fact that Sarada is becoming a little bit more like Sakura? I know this is like a very huge divide. A lot of people really like Sakura, and a lot of people really dislike Sakura, and same thing on the Sasuke side as well. A lot of people really dislike Sasuke, but a lot more of them actually do like Sasuke. I know a lot of the Sasuke fans out there might be a little bit pissed off that, hey, Sarada is becoming a little bit more like Sakura. I personally don't necessarily mind. I think just a healthy mix of the two is probably going to be perfect. Her utilizing her Byakugou seal along with the Sharingan I said earlier might prove to be something significant. Not only that, also her using the 100 healings, also with the attacking abilities of the Chidori and stuff like that. Her character could potentially be insane if it's just a 50-50 split down the line. Just my personal opinion. But what you guys thinking about Sarada becoming a little bit more like Sakura? But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.